Bones About It Puppy Day School. So, yesterday we saw some of the beginnings of what I would call adolescent behavior. Adolescent behavior tends to present itself in a lot of different ways, but one of them being where your dog really knew skills well several weeks back, maybe a month, 6 weeks ago, and all of a sudden it's like they've never heard those cues before in their life. Skill. So that is, I'm pointing this out because it is normal part of development, and it can be very disconcerting, even when you know that it is part of development. It can present itself in a way where you feel like you've really lost a lot of ground. And I'm even reminding myself of all of this while we talk, which is that when I have a puppy that is going through some of these stages that I'll call regression, for instance, yesterday, it was like we had never practiced sit before. We had never practiced down. We'd never practiced go to your place. Whereas several weeks ago, those skills were pretty solid with her. And she just was kind of looking at us with a blank stare when we were practicing. And so what I always remind my clients is that you need to work with the dog that you have right this very second. So meaning, if I have a dog that this very second isn't responding to a sit or a down or things that they previously were really good at, I cannot get in the mindset of being frustrated and thinking, oh, this dog knows this. Yeah, they know it, but they got teen brain. It's wild what's going on in there. If you have human teenagers, it is very much the same. There's a lot going on that we do not understand. So anytime I'm practicing or have my dog out and about, I am just trying to focus on what kind of behaviors am I being presented with right now, and how do I work with those to be successful. So let's go. So I'm gonna just quickly run through some of my skills. We went back to basics yesterday. Sit. Yes, and we just like kind of hammered home sitting down, like, okay, like we had never practiced them before. Sit. Okay, so if I need to lure in order to get a behavior, yes, that's what I'll do. Okay, sit. Yes. I don't also always need to reward for behaviors if I feel like, all right, I'll do it once or twice, but then if I don't get a good response, I might hold off on my treat for that particular repetition. Whoops. Just drop that one. Let's go.
Having a little salad? Are you eating some greenery? Sit.
Yes. Okay, down. Okay, so she nodded her head a little bit, meaning she kind of sort of gets what I'm looking for, but she's choosing for whatever reason. Down. Yes. Go back into a sit. Down. Up, up. Down. Good. Sit. Now, I'm also wondering, and this could have nothing to do with it, but I'm just going to point out, when you guys are practicing on your own, I want to reiterate, come here, up, 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 to not be repeating cues, okay? If you don't get the behavior you want, if I ask for a sit, and I don't get it right away, maybe use some kind of body language or hand signal. Don't keep repeating the cue. If I ask for down, and I don't get it, sit. Down. Hey, now we've got doggies coming. Down. Okay, so I'm not using a treat in my hand. Come here.
Okay.
We'll walk back out here. Come on. Up, 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 up. Good job. Good job. So, my point being, it's okay to feel like you need to go back to the easiest versions of things for a little while. Normally, it's what we refer to as latent learning, where they're still learning stuff. It may not appear that they're really understanding it, but they are, and they will come out on the other end. usually a few leaps and bounds to from where they were before we started. So stick with it. We've still got a ways to go in our program, and she's doing great. She's such a good girl. Keep using your harness and your gentle leader. That's my final word for this weekend, and we'll see you guys next week. Take care. Okay, so we are here with Scout, and we are going to be working with our gentle leader today. Again, I'm going to come right up to the camera and just really quick, so is this a good, close enough? Okay, so when you're working with the gentle leader, it's gonna, a lot of times this is the nose, it has two parts, the nose loop and then this straight strap. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure that the nose loop, a lot of times it'll slide down like this, and you'll go to put it on and it'll look like this ring is going to end up on top of the dog's nose. We don't want to do that. We want to flip it over. We want to push this loop up through this metal clip so that when I go to put it over the dog's nose, this ring is hanging from underneath his chin. Her chin. Scout! Yes, good girl. So a lot of times I'll use a treat. Scout! Yes. Sit. So I'll take the treat. Dog has to go through the nose loop to get the treat. Then while she's finished eating it, I'm going to take these straps and I'm just going to clip them right up behind her ears. And again, they should sit fairly snug behind the ears, not down here low near the collar, right? And from here, then we're going to attach our leash to this ring. I would like you to be using this for when the dog eats, supervising when we can, so that the dog doesn't paw it off. And I would like you to be using this for a lot of practice sessions where all you're going to do is just back and forth walking. What do I mean by that? I mean, like, we're just going to say, let's go. I'm going to give it a couple treats. I'm going to circle around, keep the dog over to my side, and then have the dog walk towards me while I walk backwards. Very nice. Good job. I'm just going to do a lot of treating straight from my hip, down my pant leg. Oops, I thought, go find it. I dropped that one. Go find it. Hey. No? Okay. Come on. Good job. Good job. So your goal is to keep your leash as loose as possible. So I usually slack down a lot. You're not going to hold your leash at the end and let the dog have so much slack that they have a lot of space to make mistakes. You want to keep that dog fairly close to you. A lot of times I have my other hand that kind of slides down here to control where the dog is going. Sit. Sit. Good. Very nice. Okay. Good job. Okay. Let's go. So the gentle leader is something I want you guys using as much as possible to get this dog really comfortable using it. I'm going to take it off to work on some of our other skills, but put it on, walk around a deck, walk around a yard. If it's too difficult to use it when you're actually out for a long walk, use your harness, or bring both and trade back and forth, okay? All right. Okay. Hey. Good job, Scout. Sit. Sit. Down.